happy effing holidays from the 30 and Counting crew. Whatever you decide to celebrate this time of year. Jack, is this holiday episode for all religions, atheists, agnostics, and people alike?
Yeah, of course. This isn't just a Christmas episode. This is a holiday episode. So everyone here who, regardless what they celebrate, is welcome.
Well, you heard it from the guy. Declan, you want to cue the intro?
You want me to cue the intro?
And Counting, episode 2, holiday season. We've got a lot to talk about. The Christmas special. You see the festive colors on your screen. We're usually in our station's purple, black, and white. But today, in the Christmas spirit, of course, the two guys to my left and my right, Declan Hickey to my left, Jack Lalal to my right, Chuck LaRossi right here in the center, 38 and counting. We're looking for 39 this season with the New England Patriots, who just picked up a big win at Baltimore, 28-24. I just want to applaud Jack Lalal for one of the greatest predictions probably in 38 and counting history. Jack, before we get into this one, where did that one come out of? Your prediction, was that just you knew it was going to happen?
It felt like one of those games in Baltimore. I just had a feeling, it wasn't going to be a blowout by either team. And one of those just grinded out close game wins.
Well, you got it right. I'll tell you that.
Weren't you 1 point off?
I said 27-24, but
yeah, he was 1 point off, so not a correct prediction.
He was close. He was close enough. That's how I look at it.
I'm not giving it to him.
Okay, you don't give it to him. But listen, this is the season of giving, so I'm gonna give it to Jack.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, fine.
I want to get into this game. I think it was an interesting game. The first half was weird. Lamar got hurt at the end of the first half. I think this is going to be another thing that the media cycle is going to talk about. Okay, he came back down 10 points, but it was against Snoop Huntley, right? So I don't know how that's going to go with the I love cookies and Cam Newton, but I don't know how that's going to go. We'll see how that goes. And
you're number one.
But you
playing
played like a bum.
Okay.
Drake did not play like a bum. That was his first 300-yard game, 380 yards in the air.
Almost at 400.
Almost 401 total yards on that stupid rush they had at the end of the game. So, Jack, are you okay? Are you just zoning out and in the middle of the holiday fucking episode, Jack? I told you about this.
No, I'm good.
He's got the frog and the toad on right now.
That's right.
Yep.
Jack, you want to tell the audience about your frog and the toad Christmas sweater?
Yeah, well, on the last episode, Chuck said, we're going to wear ugly sweaters and, be festive. So I was at Target this morning and I'm like, oh, I'll get this. This is fire. Right. So I bought it.
Did you communicate that to yourself? Because I don't think anyone else knew of that plan.
Chuck said it. No, Chuck said it live on the air.
I did say it. I'll tell you a story about that. It's a Sunday night, right? So we're talking 2 days ago. We're filming this on Tuesday. This comes out tomorrow on Christmas Eve. It's a Sunday night. And I'm thinking to myself, where can I find an ugly sweater? I go to Savers, can't find anything that I like. End up at Target. I see the same sweater that Jack is wearing. And I say to myself, okay, I just spent all this money holiday shopping. I did some late holiday shopping on Sunday. I say to myself, do I buy this sweater? I didn't end up buying it. Monday comes. I forget about this whole Christmas sweater thing. This story sucks. But at the end of the day, I have failed both of you. Okay? I have. As a podcast, as your co-host, as a podcast host, I've failed both of you miserably.
Well, I'm not wearing one either. So
yeah, but you got the hat on again. Okay? Jack's got the Patriots one on. I mean, I'm wearing a brown shirt. Okay? Listen, here's what we do here. This episode was supposed to be a lot bigger than it actually is, and we failed to deliver. At the end of the day, though, we will deliver the best content we can because that's 30 and counting.
Facts.
Anyways, back to this Patriots game. Declan, this game, we're going to start off the top with the Patriots, obviously. A lot of good, a lot of bad. Your thoughts on like how they approach this one, how, Lamar coming out of the game, did that benefit them? Do you think they still would have, that's a whole other conversation, but what was this game like for you?
it was like really like up and down. Like especially like the third quarter was not a fun time to be around me. I'd say
Yeah.
like would not have been a fun time because it's like so on Sunday like I was at like a party right, but I'm watching the game at the same time. So it's like kind of hard to gauge because it's like I don't want to go too crazy because if I'm at a party, people are gonna think I'm a crazy person.
Right. Because that's what crazy people do. They act crazy.
Okay, anyways, um, no, but yeah, like the third quarter was a bad quarter, and then luckily because of John Harbaugh's really good coaching decisions, he took out Derrick Henry for a 2 minute drive. But it's like I know that like the defense in the first three quarters was looking like Swiss cheese, like really bad. But I think the defense played so much better, especially in that fourth quarter, especially like at the end with like Chase on's like forced fumble. I also think even in the first half it did have the other fumble on Derrick Henry before, but no, I think Drake May really like just like willed this team to this win, especially after Morgan Moses got injured in this game. Trayvon Henderson got injured in this game. And he kind of just willed the team back into this, like throwing an absolute dime to Kyle Williams, who Kyle Williams needs to get even more reps. I still don't know how he's not getting enough reps. I still don't know how I see I don't know how I'm seeing more of Mario Douglas in the field. That makes no sense. I think Diggs played amazing. Like he said, prime time's my time. Which that shit was fire. Um, yeah, it was just a great comeback win, and Drake really I think really he really had his like Tom Brady moment, as you would say, like a drive, like you're down by three, you need a touchdown. There's 4 minutes left. You march down the field with some elite throws, especially the throw on the 4th and 2, which had to be was like precise. But yeah, great comeback win. I think the refs still try to screw us with the missed DPI and booty. That was absolutely atrocious. But yeah, came back and won, and now they control their own destiny now. So just go win two more, and they win the division. And say if the Broncos lose to the Chargers, we could get the 1 seed. So yeah,
Jack, I want to ask you. We're watching this game. Talk about the Kyle Williams throw and catch. I mean, that's 47 yards in the air. Front pylon, and they complete that a touchdown. You're in the group chat, our sports department group chat. And, we got a Broncos fan there, Bo Nix believer in Milo Berry Young, who's been on the show before, friend of the show, saying, I'm not really watching. I'm kind of not. And you hit him back with the dude. How are you not watching this game right now? How are you not watching Drake May throw for 380 yards and throw his dime to Kyle Williams? Your thoughts on that? Your thoughts on the Kyle Williams throw and catch, man?
Yeah, it was just two big time players making two big time plays. That's all it was. And obviously it's the second year guy under center elevating the rookie to make big plays in prime time and when you need it. And that's what you want to see. And it's interesting because I think it was either late in the third quarter or very early in the fourth. I was saying, all right, maybe this team like is actually fraudulent. And then obviously, the comeback happened and things changed. We ended up winning, but look, they doubted, they proved me wrong. I counted them out in that fourth quarter. I did not think Drake May had what it takes to come back 11 in the fourth, and he did that, and the coaching adjustment was nothing short of amazing and brilliant. So all props to Vrabel and the guys who commanded the offense and defense. And yeah, I mean, just what a game. But I don't know why Derrick Henry was on the bench. I really don't. I don't know if we ever will find out. I don't know if Baltimore Raven fans know, but it was weird.
it's called the John Harbaugh experience.
That's right. And here's how I look at it, right? I think that the Patriots came out of this game in a way that I wanted them to win, right? But at the same time, they got really hurt. Really, really hurt. I mean, we're talking about 9 injuries in one game. That's a lot of people. And to give you everyone updates on that and what it looks like, Pop Douglas has a hamstring. That's going to make him questionable until Sunday. Kayshon Boutte's out this week. He has a concussion. Tonga's out for the next 2 weeks. So he comes off the IR with a foot injury, plays through it, injures the foot again. He's out till the playoffs. Josh Farmer, who's the 4th round pick, he's been great. Injured, hamstring. He'll be out this week. Trayvon Henderson, concussion, out this week. Morgan Moses, questionable with a knee injury. Thayer Munford, the backup tackle, questionable with a knee injury. Carlton Davis should be fine. Charles Woods, ankle injury, our 6th round draft pick, who's been playing a lot. There's a lot of injuries coming out of this game. I mean, we're talking a lot, a little too much for my liking. The only kind of positive you get out of this week is that Milton Williams is coming back off of IR. He's got a 20-day window to get back, and was interviewed by Mike Reese and company, and he's kind of said that he's ready to go and he feels good, and he's just gonna have to see how it responds and if it goes well, he'll play this week. But I think it's gonna be big to see him come back with all these injuries, along with Robert Spillane, who's the anchor of this defense. That's how I look at it. And without him, we've seen how the defense has performed. He's out of his boot this week. So the last 2 weeks he's been in a boot. He's out of it this week in that media, portion of the interview for today. Jack, all these injuries, are they getting lucky with the timing? The fact that these aren't substantial and they'll be back for the postseason?
They are, yeah. I mean, look, you look at the year that Kayshon Boutte has been putting together and Trayvon Henderson's been putting together. Obviously, concussions are bad, and it's gonna, it's gonna take a week or so, but it could have been a lot worse for both of them. But yeah, no, we are lucky. I mean, there's 2 weeks until the postseason, and if we really want to compete, I'm sure we can compete with the team we have now. But obviously, in order to compete, you got to have a healthy team and all your starters healthy, and that's what we wish for. And we obviously hope all these guys get a speedy recovery and are good to go in the first game of the playoffs.
Well, I mean, the one other thing that I forgot to include there as well is that Jared Wilson got a concussion last night as well, or 2 nights ago.
I was going to mention that.
Yeah, so I mean, you're talking about this Jets game. You're going to be without potentially Demario Douglas, without Kayshon Boutte. Your left side of the offensive line is back to Ben Brown and Vidarian Lowe. Ben Brown just got extended 3-year contract this morning. He was a free agent this offseason. He's been an incredible swing guard. He's stepped in moments where they needed him. He's going to play again. So these next 2 weeks, you're talking about Vidarian Lowe at left tackle, or actually week 18, Will Campbell comes back. So you get him reps back there to get back into the playing tackle and back in game speed, which is something that I think a lot of fans don't get. You lose a tackle, lose a player, they got to get back to game speed. And that's completely different than being on a treadmill every day and getting back on your feet. So I think, this week you got a lot of players banged up, a lot of returners as well. So Vidarian Lowe will probably be a left tackle. I'm not expecting Wilson to play, so Ben Brown will be a left guard. Garrett Bradbury will be at center, obviously the right side of the offensive line, kind of in question as well. Mike Onwenu will be at right guard. He's been healthy all season. And then Morgan Moses hurt his knee. He was banged up a little bit, or his ankle. I don't know. I can't remember which one I said prior. But, I mean, this is a kind of a weird day for the Pats this upcoming Sunday against a really shitty team. I think Drake can make it work, but we're talking the receiving core. I mean, it's going to be Diggs, Mac Hollins, Kyle Williams, Jeremiah Webb. I mean, they're going to really get down in the depths of their receiving core. Maybe rely a little bit more on the tight ends, get the run game going with Ramondre, because now it's just Mondre. Jennings is out, so Dearness Johnson and whoever else is in the back end of that running. So, I mean, this is a full NFL season, guys. I know I've been talking a lot, but it's tough, right? And when the depth isn't there, it's tough on offense. The offense will be depleted on Sunday. Defense gets back. Milton Williams, who won't be on a full snap count, I don't expect. Same goes for Robert Spillane, but, and hopefully Carlton Davis is okay, so that defense is kind of well-rounded and okay. But when it comes to the Jets game, I'll go with you, Declan. Even with all the injuries, are you nervous at all about this game?
No, they lost to the Saints. The Jets did. And I was glad because I picked the Saints defense for fantasy. They got me 20 points, which that's a lot.
A lot of points.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not really scared of the Jets. I don't even think the Jets even want to win. I think they want to lose.
It seems like that.
Yeah, because they're starting Quinn.
No. Brady Cook.
Brady Cook.
That's right.
Let him cook.
Let him cook.
God, no. Don't. I will say this for other Patriots news, though. You have 2 Pro Bowlers.
That's right.
You got Drake May and Gonzo. So, no interior defensive linemen or defensive ends for the Patriots on there, but
no Marcus Jones?
Really nope.
No Marcus Jones is a bit crazy. He's one of the best punt returners in football.
I don't think they announced the special teams. I think they only did like the offensive and defensive positions. I don't think they did special teams yet because they'll probably be on the punt returner. It's probably going to be him on the AFC and then Rashid Shaheed on the NFC probably.
Jack, do you have any?
Yeah, I don't think they announced the punt returners yet.
Jack, do you have anything else on the Pats game? Anything that you saw that you wanted to cover specifically? That there's a couple things in here you talked about. Obviously Drake May is Himothy. You put that in there. What do you mean by that?
There were times that he could have said, all right, again, this maybe after a 10-game win streak or a 10-week win streak comes, a 2-game losing streak comes along, and he could have checked out. He could have just said, we're just going to, run the ball and hope, Ramondre didn't get hurt. Obviously he didn't. But he could have checked out, and he could have just been mentally out of it. But no, he rose to the occasion, and he looked like a vintage veteran quarterback, and he was comfortable. He was comfortable in the pocket. He was quick, and he found his guys. So that's all you need, or that's all you want in a second-year quarterback. Proving the whole fan base wrong and letting them know that he's ready for the big games.
I want to say that defense getting healthier is really important to me because our offense has really just been holding on these past couple of weeks. The defensive injuries have been piling up. Now, with the injuries on offense, Jack, you put in your notes here that the defense struggled a lot early. Zay Flowers was being Zay Flowers up until Kayvon Chason stripped them. And Derrick Henry, Jack, I mean, the truth of the matter is he's ridiculous. And there's no stopping him. There's no taking him down. Declan brings up the fact that John Harbaugh, quite literally just took him out of the game. What do you make of Declan? You have a note?
Yeah, there's no Marcus Jones in the Pro Bowl.
Yeah.
They give it to Chamir DK.
Yeah, DK. Yeah, he's been – because I think he's kick returning too. Kind of strange, but Jack, Derrick Henry.
Yeah.
Taking him out of the game. What kind of – is that a hey, you're going to get fucking fired type of thing to do when you're trying to get into the playoffs at 7-7 with the Steelers breathing on your neck?
I wish I had a definite answer for you. I don't know. I mean, look, Harbaugh is obviously his tenure in Baltimore is slowly coming to an end. I think we've all realized that. He's been the head coach for a while. He's been on the doorstep. I know he won in 2012, but since then he's had chances and hasn't been able to capitalize. Look, I don't know. The more I sit here and the more I think about it, like, is it, was he saying, all right, we're up 11. We're in the fourth quarter. I don't want my running back getting hurt, right? Like, I was that, I don't know. I mean, I don't know what the hell was going through his mind, but it clearly wasn't a smart move because you lost and he literally scored the touchdown to go up 11 or whatever it was. So, yeah, I have no idea. I don't know if he knew he was, going to get fired and he was like, kind of like, fuck you to the organization. But yeah, weird. I have no idea.
Declan, Stephon Diggs I mean, if he puts another big game, I mean, I don't expect it to happen because of just the teams we're playing, the opponents. But I mean, he's gonna be hovering at the 960, 970 mark. He tore his ACL less than a year ago. What kind of resurgence, I guess, is Diggs having in his career and for this team right now? What kind of, what is that? What do you think? That 100% has changed the trajectory of the season, 100,000%.
Yeah, but I also don't think it's even about like his great performances. He just seems like in like the huddle and like just like around the team, he's such a good like leader of this team. He's like he really like he makes a difference not even like on the field, but just even the on the off the field shit with his teammates, and they seem to like rally around him when he gives like a speech every time. Like he doesn't even have to have a good, but but um but I think him being in the lineup just makes a guy like Kayshon Boutte play even better. Makes a guy like Mac Hollins make that, which was a pretty good catch in that game. I don't remember, but that was a pretty good catch he made. I can remember when he like went up in the air to grab it, but that was a great catch. But yeah, I just think he makes the difference, even when he's not getting the ball, which can sound a little crazy, but it's like I definitely think he's been like very good. Do I think maybe in the offense they could talk about what to do with him, and maybe if they need a true number one, that's a whole different story for now. But right now he's our number one, or kind of. But yeah, he just makes a difference in this game, especially he always comes out in the big moments. Is like more kind of his games. He doesn't really always shine in the game versus like the Browns or like the Jets or something. He'll or like against like the Titans or something. He'll kind of like wait around, but it's like when it's a big game, he's always going to be the guy who's going to like step up for this team.
Jets Pats.
Prime time is my time. Prime time is my time.
That's right. Jets Pats predictions.
What was the score of the Jets game versus the Saints?
33 to something.
33-6 or something.
Yeah.
Like
they're so fucking checked out. I still think Aaron Glenn. I still think Aaron Glenn's a good coach.
Oh yeah, I do too. He's not going to get fired.
No.
If they fire him, that would be the worst mistake ever.
Jack.
Yeah, I was gonna say I saw this on Instagram. And this is true. It says Garrett Wilson last caught a pass on October 12th. He is the Jets' leading receiver this season with 395 yards.
Well, they've had like a quarterback carousel, bro. Like I don't know.
Dude, Garrett Wilson is like wasting his career in New York right now. Legitimately wasting his career.
We should have traded for him at the deadline.
Bro, him at Ohio State, bro.
But Declan, they're in the division. They're gonna ask for like 50 first-round picks. I forgot. Also, why would the Jets want to trade with us? They heavily dislike us.
I forgot. Yeah, the score is 29-6 against the Jets and the Saints.
Predictions then for this one.
We put up 28 this week. I'm gonna go 35-7. I think the Jets get one.
Jack, predictions for Sunday's game?
Yeah, I don't hate that. I'm not gonna copy it, but I'll go 28-7.
I'm gonna try and guess this correctly because I think it's gonna be a turnover fest for the Jets. I think they're gonna turn the ball over a bunch of times. So I'm gonna say because defense scores as well, 42-10. I think the Patriots will get back to that Panthers mark. They'll probably get a pick six or get really good field position a bunch of times and get in the end zone a shit ton of times.
Ooh, I can already smell the Marcus Jones punt return touchdown and the pick six.
Right. So like things like that I feel like can happen legitimately. More importantly though, I think this this game is going to be interesting to watch on the offensive side of the ball because you're going to see some receivers that you've never seen before, like Jeremiah Webb, like Efton Chisholm. Like they're going to be playing meaningful snaps in this game. But once again, and I've said this to a bunch of people, I truly believe Josh McDaniels can make it work with anybody. So, despite the Bills game and people's, we had a lot to say about Josh's play calling. I think he's going to make it work on Sunday, especially against a team like the Jets that are actively trying to fail. Pats are 12-3. They're going to look to be 13-3 next week. If I told myself that they would have more than 8 wins at this point when we signed Mike Vrabel, I would be ecstatic. So I'm very happy and pleased of what has happened. Red Sox made a move, which was interesting and awesome. Wilson Contreras, Red Sox trade with the Cardinals, which is like the only people they can trade with. That's what it feels like sometimes. They acquire. That's right. They acquire Contreras. Not inquire. For Hunter Dobbins, and 2 prospects. One being Farado. I can't say his last name right. Got him in the White Sox trade for Boozer. Really liked him as a prospect. Nice that they were able to use him, in a package. He'll be pretty solid probably in his career. But Contreras, we're talking 8, around hovering at an 800 OPS. Has had an 120 WRC plus last 6 seasons. He's up there with Aaron Judge when it comes to WRC plus. He's one of the most talented hitters in baseball. And he's done it very quietly because he's been in a place like St. Louis and a market like St. Louis, where, it's not going to be the best baseball. Declan, I'll start with you a bit. How much do you like this trade and the fit for the Sox lineup?
I do think it's a pretty good fit. He's like a right-handed bat, which is kind of something we kind of need. We still probably need another one, but it's definitely good to get one right-handed bat. It then established, they talking about Casas. We'll kind of see what happens with him. Like you said, he'll probably maybe start in the AAA, and then maybe work his way up into the lineup as an alternative a lefty bat, because he'll probably need something like that. Like a platoon guy or something like that. I think it's a great trade. I think he's also a very good he's a good defensive first baseman as well. He's definitely on the defense. And if we were to get Bregman back, it would make this infield look a whole lot better, and not the team that had the most errors in baseball last year, because that was bad. But yeah, I think it's a great trade for this team. I think it'll be a perfect fit, like you said, the numbers and everything you mentioned. I think people really haven't seen him. The last time he was in a big kind of team was when he was on the Cubs, the World Series. But he was pretty young back then. So it was kind of his last big moments when he was on the Cubs. And then they eventually went to shit, and then now they're good again. But yeah, I think he's a good fit for this team. I don't know how many home runs he'll hit, because he's not the biggest home run hitter, but I still think he'll be a pretty solid fit for this team, and it's going to be a good trade. But this can't be the only move.
To go off with a home run hitting aspect of what you said, he hovers 27 to 30 a year. So with the monster, to me that
makes a difference.
To me, that's home run hitting. 27 to 30. But you lose Rafi Devers, it's tough to say what home run hitting is. You don't lose them, you trade them. Jack, to talk about the spending question, Breslow was just, he did his little interview with the press after the Contreras trade. They asked him a question if they're going to pass the next CBT threshold, because they're right near that. They're about 16 mil. So Contreras this season will make 17 million. So they're hovering around that 244 million threshold. They asked him about getting to the next, and he can't say anything about it, but he said the roster's incomplete. As much as we talk about him like he's a little bit like a robot and whatever. I believe they're going to pass that threshold, because they're going to acquire at least another bat and another arm, as well as a bullpen addition. So we're talking 3 other players.
No.
Obviously Bregman is the choice to return. my meter on that right now is like 49%, like almost 50. Like I am like almost 50% that guy's going to come back. That's how I feel about it. Do you think Bregman will return just today, December 23rd? And this thing keeps dragging out. And the more it does, the more kind of embarrassing it is for his camp to be talking to the Blue Jays and then plead to Seattle to offer you something. And then the Chicago's been lukewarm on him. And that's kind of what his market's been. I think the Red Sox kind of have this, in the bag. Arizona is now in that mix. He's, lives in that area. He lives in Scottsdale. 6-year deal potentially on the table. But I think if the Red Sox offer 5 and even less money, he'll come back. Your vibes on the Bregman situation right now?
Yeah, look, I know I'm going to sound wrong to you guys because you guys are the baseball guys here, but look, I just I don't know. It's kind of worrying me that he hasn't signed yet. And I think if he wanted to be here, he would have already signed, right? I do. I personally do. I don't necessarily think if athletes want to be somewhere, then guarantee they want to be somewhere or know they want to be somewhere, they're going to test the market. I don't really know if they would do that just because if they're certain about where they want to be, that's where they want to be, right? So again, I know baseball is different, but the more this kind of gets prolonged, the more I'm I don't think this guy's coming back to Boston. I don't think this guy's coming back here. And it's worrisome. He was great for us. Obviously he had an injury, that kind of sat him out for quite a while last season. But when he played, he was great. Obviously, we know how good he is defensively, and he's a bat. But yeah, no, it's definitely worrying some.
Declan, before I go to you, the unfortunate nature of MLB free agency is that it's not going to be like the NFL or the NBA, where everyone signs in one day, because we're looming a lockout right now, and there's just probably 100,000 issues that the players and the owners and the GMs and everyone involved and the agents are disagreeing on. Obviously, one being the salary cap floor or ceiling, whatever. Players don't want that because they want to get paid more. I get it. But it's getting really annoying because now we're waiting for Alex Bregman to re-sign or whatever. I think his whole thing, and you look all the way back to when he signed in Boston, was I signed here because obviously the 3 years plus 2 options just is basically a 1 year. For $40 million a year, he wasn't going to get anywhere. He wasn't going to get $40 million for a season of baseball anywhere. I think he stated that multiple times that it allows for him to play and then test the market. He liked it a lot here. He said it a million times. I think he loves Boston. But also, you got to, Bregman has stated also a million times that this is the final contract he wants to sign in his career. 5 or 6 years. And when you're deciding on your final contract of your life in baseball, you're probably going to wait out the market. That's how I look at it. I think you're going to not wait out the market, but test the market. Because the market right now for him is kind of lukewarm. It's kind of trash. Because when you get hurt and miss all those games, your value kind of got killed. And I think he should have opted in. I think he should have. I mean, he left $40 million on the table. I think if he comes back to Boston, he's going to play himself because he left 40 on the table. And he's going to make anywhere between 27 to 30. He's going to lose out on some money. Declan, your vibes on the Bregman situation back to Boston?
Yeah, it just, like you said, it's a little embarrassing from his camp to try to do all this because it seemed a done deal. And then it seems like they're really desperate to try to get any teams involved. They kind of were begging a little other teams like a Seattle. It is a little weird, but to Jack's point, I think that's just how kind of baseball free agency just works. A lot of times when people, especially with this agent like Scott Boras is so insufferable to teams and fans.
But not to his players. That's how I look at it.
Yes, but it's very like insufferable because he makes you like wait it out he would wait it out till like the last day to like do like signings in his mind, which he's done before where like a lot of players don't sign till March, which is a little ridiculous. But which happened with Bregman last year. But I think they should be able to get him, but I do think he made a bad move by kind of like not coming back because no one else was going to give him 40, and we were the only team giving him 40. And I still think he wants to be here. You know, like I still have a feeling. But do you think signing Bregman is like? Do you think that's getting another bat, or do you think it's just like a retaining?
So I think Contreras is obviously the other bat. It's the truth of the matter. I think Bregman can be viewed as either retaining or the other bat. But I think with all the pitching prospects they've moved, I don't expect them to get Marte because.
Oh yeah, I don't think so either. But I would. Yeah. If they went for like Bo Bichette is what I'm saying.
Right, but if you have to pivot to Bichette, you pivot. I mean, he's 4 years younger, whatever. I mean, I think Jack would love Bo Bichette here too. Right? Yeah. I mean, that guy in Toronto has been Mr. Clutch. Like his whole career has been Mr. Clutch. He's just the same as Bregman. He battles the injuries, right? I view, and as Breslow said, I view this team incomplete as well. But I've said this before and I'll say it again. I said Duran won't be here in the beginning of free agency. Joe Ryan will. Obviously, Joe Ryan's a pipe dream now. But Duran will not be on the opening day roster. Yesterday and today, whatever, 7 weeks and counting until spring training. I don't think Yoshida's going to be here on opening day. I think the way they've talked up the outfield, obviously, and this interview told me a lot with Breslow. It told me that he's not willing to move Cedar Rafaela to second base. He doesn't want to do it. He knows how stupid that is. At least he knows that, right? I mean, Jack, you love to tell the tale of Dave O'Brien swinging a drive, right? I mean, that in center field, the defense, not only the fact that he'll take a month and be an MVP candidate and then go back down and bat 200, right? But his defense is the best, some of the best in the MLB. He should have won a platinum glove. The fact that Breslow's aware of that tells me there is no chance in hell, even after talking up Willie Abreu and saying he's no longer going to be benched against lefties. He needs to face lefties. He needs to face both arms. Where do you put Roman Anthony in them? Well, he's playing left. Where's Duran going to play? Mm-hmm. I mean, that's how I look at it. I don't think he's going to be back.
Look, you make a good point about Sedane, right? And, I think I said it to you guys earlier in the season, last season. Like, when I watch this kid play, he shows me shades of Mookie and just the way he's quick defensively in the outfield. And obviously he can hit. And I say that because I think it's interesting, right? Mookie was a great outfielder for the Red Sox. Like, great. And now he plays shortstop for the Dodgers. And he's also been great, right? So it's like, could Sedane be good at second? Like, yeah, I think he could because he's that athletic. But I don't know. It's always tough to move somebody. Yeah. Move from their position. I bet Sedane loves playing outfield. I bet he loves it. So again, I don't think they would do that just to do it. Like, I think there would need to be a reason. But I think if things came down to it, if he had to play second base, I think he'd be great.
I think he'd be great too. But my reason being, I bring up the fact that they're so hard set on playing Abreu against lefties and righties because Abreu used to sit the bench against lefties. He's not great against lefties. And saying Rafaela's sticking in center tells me, because you look at Roman Anthony's defense, everyone, they love Roman as an offensive player. We all know right here on this day that this season he will be an all-star candidate and will potentially be in the MVP discussion. It's the truth of the matter. I mean, he is going to be one of the best players in the MLB next season. It is really insane to think that a 23-year-old, not even 22-year-old, is playing that type of baseball. And everyone talks about the offense. Everyone talks about the bat. His defense this past season was very good, and he's got a really solid arm. I don't think they're going to value him as a DH. He's too young to be DHing like that. Duran's going to get traded. Declan, your thoughts on that?
It's just, so there was a discussion with the Royals, but my takeaway is that the Red Sox asking price is a little too high for the Royals. I know there's been talks about maybe the Red Sox could go for Reagans on Kansas City. It didn't really seem like any deals were really happening. It just seems to me that I still think a chance he still could be on the roster just because they just might not trade him. That's the thing. I think Breslow wants to trade him for a good trade, not something that would be a bad return for them. He wants to get pitching for him. But I doubt it's going to come from the Royals anymore because it seems like the Red Sox asking price is a little too high. Maybe they could go for, I don't really know, maybe Sandy Alcantara, but
I don't know. I just think that, first of all, we watched Christian Campbell last season in his month and a half in the majors tear it up before his injury, and then he kind of faded away, unfortunately. The fact that they moved him from second to the outfield tells me once again there's too many people in the outfield. Ref Schneider walks. You're not going to pay him $6 million when you have Nate Eaton on the roster who's going to take his spot, right?
Yeah.
Rob was awesome to watch. He was obviously one of the leaders in the clubhouse, but you're not going to pay a bench bat $6 million like the Mariners just did. That doesn't make any sense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So you got, but think about it like this, not to cut you off, but think about it like this. Nate Eaton's there. Christian Campbell's there. Roman Anthony. I guess Yoshida. Rafaela. Abreu. And Duran. I mean, the odd one out to me is Jaron.
No, but I'm just saying, who would play DH though?
What's the point of that? He's fast.
I know, but I don't know.
The organizational dysfunction of the way the roster is built is forcing them to make a trade. Moving on a bit.
I think they should trade Duran.
Yes.
I'm not saying they shouldn't.
100%. Moving on.
I just don't know their asking price.
It's probably steep. Moving on from Duran real quick, how do you dump Yoshida's contract?
How much of a penalty do you get if you cut him?
We're talking in the 16, 17 mils.
That's bad.
It's a lot of dead money.
I don't know if anyone wants him.
Well, no one does. So I'm saying, I see it the obviously the return will be terrible, but Jack,
I was thinking to myself, probably not, but I'll just throw it out there. Could you offer Duran and Yoshida in a package?
It just kills the package though, because it's you're getting Jaron, right? But with Jaron comes a sweetener prospect. If you're trying to get a second pitcher, you throw in a Franklin Arias, or you throw in another pitching prospect, and then you're like, can you also take Yoshida's money? They probably wouldn't do that. I'm thinking more around the lines of you send him to a place like Pittsburgh or Colorado or Washington, and you say, okay, this is what he can be. Can you eat the money, right? And in return, you get a single A prospect, something random, someone that's never going to play. That's how I look at it.
Yeah.
And that's the only way to get out of the contract. Also, Patrick Sandoval is making almost 20 mil on the books this season.
Still?
Yeah, he's a starting pitcher that's been hurt I had Tommy John. We signed him last season for quite some money. That needs to go as well. So there's a lot of money that can be shed from the books right now in Duran and Sandoval and Yoshida. And obviously, unsurprisingly, in this interview with Brez, here's a quote from Breslow. When Chris Cotillo asked Brez about the payroll, and Brez said, I think I'm not going to get into conversation around budgets or thresholds. He said outside of saying that, I'm going to do everything I can. Our front office with the support of ownership is going to do everything we can to build the best team possible. That's what we're working on. Obviously, he can't talk about CBT threshold and whatever. But, I think this team, and from Chris Cotillo's understanding, it's Cotillo, by the way, but you say Cotillo in this household. I think they're comfortable with Sonny Gray as their number 2. I think they are. Does that rule out another pitching addition? No, it doesn't. But, internally, though, they seem to be cool with it. I think the only kind of pitchers that I see that could be available right now, Cole Reagans and Bubic out of Kansas City. Freddie Peralta's 100% on the block for Milwaukee. What would that take? When you don't sign people, you have to give up a lot of fucking capital to acquire people.
Yeah.
That's my whole problem with this is that, if you're not going to sign this X player and say, okay, it's fine, we'll just trade for one, you can't deplete your entire farm system just to trade for players. That's how I look at this. I think it's kind of, they've dug themselves into a hole. If they re-sign Bregman, makes it better. They go trade for a pitcher, makes it better. But end of the day, the team is incomplete right now, and I think they're going to need to do a little bit more.
Yeah. I just don't really know, what other pitchers, because you said, Freddie Peralta would probably be a good move.
It would.
But you don't know how much of a haul you have to give him. I still think they should trade Duran, but, yeah, I don't really know. It's just kind of hard when you kind of, like you said, dig this, build, build this, yeah, fuck. Anyways, yeah, fuck.
Dig yourself out of this hole, out of this log jam. Contreras signs. I think it was a good signing or a trade. And we'll see how the rest of the offseason goes. We'll continue to have it. The final, topic here to discuss on the holiday episode, is the Celtics. They're the number 3 seed in the East. They have been playing extremely well. Jaylen Brown has been averaging 32.5 basically to this point. His last 19-point game was probably a month ago, not even, maybe a couple weeks ago.
And that was also triple-double.
Jack, I ate shit on Bo Nix. I think you're going to eat the curb here on Jaylen Brown being a leader.
You're right. I am. However, look.
Oh, no.
Has he proved me wrong? Yes.
Oh, no.
Is it fair to necessarily say he's taking the team by storm in terms of a leader standpoint? I'm not 100% sure, because again, the reason why I say that is it's the regular season, right? When I look at a leader, I'm thinking about how far can your leader take your team in the postseason? Because that's what matters, right? If you lead a team to the 1 seed and lose in the first round, did you really lead them to anything? No, right?
Okay. Well,
hold on. So I think, again, don't get me wrong. He's been doing unbelievable. He's a great player. He knows damn well how to play the game of basketball. However, I still think I have a better left hand than him. But
no, the fuck you don't.
I don't know. Again, I'm a big Jaylen Brown guy. He's obviously one of the best number 2 options you can have in the National Basketball Association. But he's been leading this team, yes. But I want to see if Tatum doesn't come back and we still have a chance to make the play-in. I want to see how he reacts to that, when it really matters.
Play-in?
Mm-hmm.
This is the 3rd seed, bud.
It's not even January, pal.
Yeah, but I don't think we're going to be in the play-in. I think we're going to be... We are one of the best teams in the East right now.
A lot of games left, pal.
It's us, the Pistons, and probably the Knicks. Those are the best 3 teams in the East.
Not even January. Weird things.
I'm just saying, okay, it's basically January in 8 days.
How many games do you play in 8 days?
I think they play 3
A lot of games now in the play-in.
Okay, but it's when you go into the playoffs, that's a different conversation, though, about his leadership. That's a different conversation.
Is it, though?
Yes. Because if he led this team to the 1 seed, that would be such an accomplishment without a top 5 player in the league. Because like he's still a great
I
leader,
agree.
though.
Yeah.
No, but I just think
But
that's a different
we're
conversation.
we're talking
Playoffs.
in ifs right now. The question I
Yeah.
asked you was to this fucking point, Jack. Did you even expect this team to be this good? You didn't.
No, I didn't.
So
I didn't.
the thing, my question to you is, Jalen has led this team because he's averaging 30 points per game.
Yes.
Yeah,
He
it's not
has-
the playoffs yet, sure, but right now, as we speak today in the regular season of the NBA,
You're absolutely right.
The East is wide open.
And I December 23rd, as of today, he has been absolutely leading this team. He's been bringing the best out of everyone. He's been involving his teammates like there's no tomorrow. And let's just be honest, he doesn't have the best supporting cast, and he's still doing this, right? So, I mean, he doesn't have like a third option, like a stud. I mean, yeah, Derek White's good, but it's not like this is some sort of like super team or whatever. Like Jaylen Brown, yes, he absolutely deserves credit. He absolutely does. He's been bringing the best out of anyone.
Well, I want to move this, we'll move the needle a little bit now. Ugo, sorry.
Ugo.
Him and Jordan Walsh this season have taken massive steps. And I know Ugo is his first season in the NBA. His net rating, the minimum of 250 minutes, is second in the NBA. Alex Caruso's first, the 27.5. Ugo, 20.5. SGA, 19.5. Chet Holmgren, 18.5. And Jay Will in OKC, 18.5 as well. Ugo's second. I mean, you heard Tatum. He said, "What did I say yesterday? You're a bad motherfucker." I mean, it's the truth of the matter. I mean, Ugo can block. Ugo can defensively press the shit out of you. He can score. He'll shoot a 3 occasionally. He's good inside. I mean, get boards. He can do anything. Declan, you put here, just talking about Ugo. What kind of addition has he been, especially coming out of the draft as like a very raw prospect?
Yeah, it's like you basically use like him and Jordan Walsh because they're kind of like they're kind of a similar type of player right now. I think Jordan Walsh is probably a better scorer and athlete because I think like Jordan Walsh can actually like shoot the ball, whereas like Hugo can't. But yeah, like he's played big. Like he played like at that Miami game, he played like 31 minutes, and he played a lot of minutes in last night's game, which I'm like, we can get to that game in a second because which was kind of a crazy game last night that it came back from. But yeah, his just impact like defensively, you can just see it. He was like making like every player on like the Pacers uncomfortable. It's like he was guarding Pascal Siakam. Yeah, like he was just like all over him. He like didn't leave like any space. He's a tough rebounder too. If like I think he got 11 rebounds last night. I'm pretty sure.
Yes.
Where he's just a great kind of like hustle player. He kind of reminds me of that like kind of like Marcus Smart type, like a guy who's just like hustling to the ball. Yeah. It's just like putting his hand anywhere trying to get any steals. And like sometimes maybe his stats don't always like pop up on the box score. Like it's kind of like that. Kind of like how like a Marcus Smart was a great player, but he wouldn't have like his stats wouldn't always like pop up like on the box score. They wouldn't like jump out at you. But it's kind of like similar style. And he's a taller player, and he's a pretty good finisher at the rim too, I would say. But yeah, just a overall great impact between him and Walsh. Just really great.
Jack, did you watch the Pacers Celtics game last night?
Yeah.
20 points. I mean, that's you're down by a metric shit ton. Missoula pulls the entire lineup in the third. They come back and win the game. Jaylen Brown hits a dagger 3 in the corner as he did in the Eastern Conference Finals. Was that the ECF?
Yes, game 1.
Yeah.
Yep.
Same exact shot. Had my grandpa heavily yelling at the screen about how much he hates Pascal Siakam. So that was fun to watch.
No.
He also he hates Pascal Siakam, and he also he has a deep hatred for Jimmy Butler. So
I don't blame him on that one.
right.
Though.
My hatred, Jack, shut the fuck up. My hatred.
Yeah, Jack,
he's a
don't say
dog.
that. We're good.
Just saying.
Where's his ring? Exactly. Where's his ring?
That's where you shut the fuck up.
Went up against the powerhouse.
Jason Tatum better.
Holy fuck.
Jason Tatum's better all the time.
No shit, he's better. I'm not saying he's not.
All right, listen.
All time.
My hatred, to not go off on a fucking tangent of how awful Jack is. My hatred lives for Max Strus. It always will. I absolutely hate Max Strus. I think he is. I think if you put me in the NBA, I would be playing like Max Strus. That's what kind of fucking player he is.
You hate him more than Caleb Martin?
Whatever.
Caleb Martin.
No, Max Strus just has a face I don't like. You know, just as much as I hate Mr. Planet Sheen, okay? Who's playing on the fucking Pistons now. I saw him on the floor playing meaningful minutes when I went to that Celtics game that Jack was at as well. Duncan Robinson. What a fucking disgrace to the NBA. 20-point comeback. Wild game for the Celtics. Yeah. I'll start with you, Jack. I mean, what does that say about a group like this to come back down that many points against this Pacers team led by quite literally one of my favorite coaches ever in Rick Carlisle.
Yeah. Look, it shows a lot of grit. It shows, it obviously shows that without their star player, they can still come back, and they're going to work together as a team. But they're going to feed off of their star at the moment, which is Jaylen Brown. And look, I think when you have a coach that, is begging his wife to get a wolf to protect their property, it's almost like an intimidating factor to play against them. Look, I don't love the whole Missoula ball thing. I do think he's a good coach. I think he's an absolutely brilliant mind. I think he's like an Einstein. Much respect for him on the wolf thing. Especially being here in New England. But anyways, yeah, he's getting these guys. He's getting the young guys running and gunning, and obviously Josh Minott, Walsh is playing tremendous, and like you guys just said, Hugo, like who expected these guys, right, to play this well? And I think it got to give props to Jaylen, and you got to give props to Wolf. And it's a team effort, and I think Tatum's loving it.
Derek White. Listen, getting better in the three. It was tough to watch it sometimes and missing some of those, but he's getting better. The only thing is for me is that you can miss the difference between me and Jack is like sometimes I hate like threes and it's unwatchable and whatever. But then like when I sit down and watch the game and I see how they play now, it's like, all right, you can miss. I don't give a fuck if you miss 16 threes. If you make the three that matters, that's kind of all I care about. That's how I look at it.
Like, I also don't think they're really, like, playing like they did last year. They're not really chucking up as, I don't think they're chucking, like, as many threes. But, because I think they're driving to the rim, like, a lot more. They're definitely, more of a, heavy passing team, around. They kind of did like a 4-corner drill yesterday to hit a three, which was kind of crazy. But I don't think it's like typical as you would say a Joe Mazzulla ball. I think it's just his style, and I also think it's also like his style to take his team is to take all the starters out in the third quarter to send a message, because it's like they were playing very lazy in that game. They were playing like lazy defense, and the play that made him do it at the start of the third quarter, where it's Nemus K and Derek White, and they're both on the opposite side, and they don't grab the rebound, and that was it for him. He was like, "Fuck you guys, you're going on the bench."
Mm-hmm.
Well,
and then I will say this, and then I think the guy who really started this run who didn't really get the credit, what you talk about, was Anthony Simons. Anthony Simons came in and he kind of cut the lead down to 10, just basically like by himself. And yeah, it was just a great win and a great overall, just like a comeback for this team.
Well, that's gonna do it for us here. Holiday special. It was fun. Talk a little bit about ball. We'll have more for you this week. It is Christmas time, but we'll have some more content coming for you in the upcoming times. We hope you enjoy whatever holidays you are celebrating. As my computer sounds like it's gonna explode right now. For Jackal, Declan Hickey, I'm Chuck Larossi. Happy holidays. We'll see you next time.
Peace.